I'm recording this audio at 5:40 a.m. in the morning on Tuesday, September 10th. It's here in Vancouver, so that's kind of where the timeline is, and I am coming back from a trip. In fact, I already arrived back home, which is why I'm still awake, and it's why I'm here making a video on the latest Elliotte Friedman tweet. You see, about 14 minutes before I started recording this audio, Elliotte Friedman made this post on Twitter: "Good morning. Not exactly sure what the terms will be, possibly a one-year deal, but it sounds like the Nick Robertson Toronto stalemate will be resolved today." This was posted at 5:27 a.m., and then just a few minutes later, you had Chris Johnston going out there and confirming the deal. The Toronto Maple Leafs have signed Nick Robertson to a one-year deal worth $875,000. The stalemate ends with a contract for the RFA. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Okay, great. Nick Robertson got signed to a one-year, $875,000 deal. But what is everybody talking about when it comes to a stalemate? 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 What's going on here? Even Friedman went out there and replied officially, 1 year, $875,000. The thing is with Nick Robertson, this guy, as far back as, let's say, a few days ago, was still holding out as a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs who wanted an opportunity to play elsewhere. Long story short, in Nick Robertson's mind, he wasn't getting the proper development nor usage in the Toronto Maple Leafs system to allow him to be an NHL stud. Now, sure, you can say that Nick Robertson had a few cups of coffee and a few big opportunities, you can say, as a member and prospect of the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's 22 years old, 5'10", 183, left-handed left-wing guy who was drafted in the second round of the 2019 draft by this team. And over the years, he did play 6 games with the Maple Leafs in 2020, 2021, 10 games the next season, 15 games the year after that. He had 56 games played with the Toronto Maple Leafs in this most recently completed season with 27 points, and he also had a 9-game sample with the Marlies where he was over a point per game. He, however, went pointless, 6 games, 0 points in the playoffs for the Maple Leafs this previous postseason. And when the RFA negotiations started up, you were starting to hear rumblings saying, hey, Nick Robertson wants a change of scenery, he wants to go elsewhere, he feels that maybe his role in Toronto is not going to be all too beneficial for him to progress forward and actually get better as an NHL athlete. By the way, Nick Robertson was born on September 11th, 2001, which means that his birthday is tomorrow. He's literally going to be 23 years old by this time in about 18 hours or so. Yeah, I can't really do math off the top of my head. It's 5 a.m. Please give me a break. But for the Maple Leafs to get this contract done, this is a really good thing for them. Firstly, it gives them a little bit extra leeway if they wanted to make that trade, if they wanted to negotiate, they wanted to dangle Robertson's name out there. Now, there's a little bit less leverage in the hands of these other teams, because as far back as, let's say, yesterday, all the other NHL teams knew that Nick Robertson wanted out. They were like, yeah, Toronto is going to try to trade us Nick Robertson because Nick Robertson doesn't want to be there. Obviously, we're not going to acquiesce to whatever it is that they want in a trade. We know that we have the leverage here. So now that a contract has been agreed upon, it gives other teams the benefit of the doubt. Hey, Toronto is trying to trade us Nick Robertson, but he already agreed to re-sign with them. So maybe there's not really too much of an intention to leave. He's okay with sticking around in Toronto and maybe playing out some form of a season with them. Maybe, hopefully, staying with the Maple Leafs for a full 82-game sample. That is, of course, if he's able to play in the lineup for a full 82-game sample. The Maple Leafs, I'd say they do have the opportunities to give Robertson, should they really decide they wanted to commit to that. And I think that was going to be one of the bigger obstacles in terms of making Robertson agree to some sort of a deal. In fact, let's go over to the Toronto Maple Leafs daily face-off page. Where is the other teams here? Here it is. Let's go to Toronto and see where Nick Robertson suits up. And right now they have him not listed on the 12-man forward roster. That's probably because he didn't have a contract. So if you assume, let's say, Nick Robertson gets top 6 minutes, or he gets top 9 minutes and power play time, then there could be an opportunity for him to actually establish himself as a guy who deserves to be here and who can one-up his 27-point in 56-game production rate from last year. If Nick Robertson is able to get, let's say, 40 points in 82 games played, or even 50 points, he's able to really establish himself as a top-tier guy, maybe take Bobby McMahon's spot on the Tavares and Nylander line, and if he's able to do that, really build upon the offensive potential that he grew as a player in the Peterborough Pete system and all the other systems that he has been a part of in the past too. I mean, he was always a really good Marley in terms of being able to score points, but that never really translated to the main Maple Leafs team, mostly due to opportunity, you could say. If he's able to take that next step, then Nick Robertson will be setting himself up for a pretty good 2025 summer, where the contract that he's on right now, 1 year, $875,000, will expire and he'll be able to get an even bigger raise. This also could be seen as a prove-it deal, where the Maple Leafs give some time to Robertson, maybe he does get 35 to 40 points, and maybe if the ask is a little bit too high next season, they can trade him away then. There would be a little bit more of an inclination for other teams to trade for Nick Robertson in 2025 if he has a season that is actually worth pursuing. He has a good season, he has a strong, offensively productive season, if he plays well with Tavares or Nylander, or heck, even Max Domi. We had seen what Domi can do when he's playing with guys like Auston Matthews, so maybe they swap some guys around there to make things work. But if Nick Robertson has a good season next year, it's setting everybody up to being happier. The Maple Leafs could trade Robertson for a better return, Robertson himself would get more money, and hopefully use this prove-it year to guarantee himself a higher-tiered spot in the 2025-2026 season, and of course, the production that he would have in 2024-2025 would be better for everybody if he has it versus if he doesn't. It's just kind of intriguing to me how we were hearing all throughout the past few weeks that, hey, Robertson wants out, he is not budging, he wants to get traded, he wants to get moved, and then he signs a contract. Heck, maybe there is a little bit extra stuff going on here that we don't know about. Maybe if we refresh the page over here, can we see? All right, yeah, so there's the graphic. Nick Robertson signed. Well played by the Leafs. Opportunity here for Robertson to stake a claim on the left side. He wanted out. Treliving explored the market while staying in touch with Nick throughout the process. New coach and a fresh start for Robertson. So it does seem here like the Toronto Maple Leafs are really going to try once more to make things right with Nick. New coach, new opportunity, and Brad Treliving, of course, getting in touch with the player, just kind of hopefully keeping him up to date with everything that's going on. That's a really good picture, by the way. I kind of want to use that for the thumbnail of this video. Yeah, we're going to have to try to find a way to fit that into a 1280 by 720 grid. But either way, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Toronto Maple Leafs re-signing Nick Robertson to a one-year deal worth $875,000. The stalemate is officially over. I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about this deal? And do you think Nick Robertson has it in him to have a season worth having in 2024-2025? Can he get 40 points? Can he get 50? Will he go out there and prove himself as more than what we have seen out of him in the Maple Leaf system in the past? And will he force the Maple Leafs' hand to giving him better minutes, better opportunities, and, in turn, better point production? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.